Welcome to the next episode of Up to 5 Minutes, where in less than 5 minutes you will learn the latest in all things real estate and mortgage lending, and hopefully sound a little smarter at your next cocktail party. So there's a lot of terms and conditions and deadlines that buyers have to meet. Before they go under contract, on your end, what does a buyer need to do?
Before they go under contract on our end, nothing. That's one of the great reasons that you should reach out as early as possible. There's no fee to start the process before you go under contract. It's completely free of charge for you.
So once a buyer goes under contract, that's when the real deadlines on your end as far as getting loan approval and some out-of-pocket fees start to accrue, right?
Yep, that's the first time you really have to start bringing out your checkbook. On our end, usually the only thing that is due before closing is gonna be your appraisal fee. Sometimes there's additional fees, it depends lender to lender. Other things that you should be looking out for as well is if you have an inspection, you might have to pay that inspection cost up front. And then obviously, depending on the state, your earnest money deposit. That's a small deposit that you'll get as a credit back if it goes to close to show your seriousness in the transaction.
And that's usually due within the first couple of days of going under contract. And it is very important to prove to sellers that you are serious about buying the home.
Yeah, and sometimes it's broken up too, right? So sometimes you'll have some of it due before inspection, some due afterwards. And it depends on every transaction, but it's one of the first major costs you have is when you go under contract.
What other fees can a buyer expect?
Well, at closing, that's when you're gonna have most of your fees. So your title costs, your lending costs, paying the real estate agents, almost everyone and everything else is due at the time of closing. So that's when you're gonna bring your rest of your cash to close that you'll get on your closing disclosures. You'll know ahead of time, and that's when you'll make those fees. And that earnest money deposit that we talked about earlier, that comes back as a credit at the closing as well.
And another one of those things is prepaids, like your insurance premium for the year.
Correct, yeah. And so like your escrows, anything you pay ahead of time. And sometimes people choose to pay their insurance ahead of time as well. Sometimes people change it at closing. There's a couple of variations there, but at the end of the day, most of your final costs are gonna come on closing day.
After closing, when the buyer has paid all of that money to purchase the home, they do get a little bit of relief before their first payment, right?
That's right. Usually when you close, it's your first full month after that your first payment's due. So if you close November 15th, your first payment usually isn't due to January 1st. This can change sometimes, but on average, that's what most people do. So it's nice to have that little relief, especially if you have a month overlap with your lease or something like that.
So plan to close the beginning of a month.
Yeah. Thank you for spending less than 5 minutes with us. Don't forget to like, share, and comment your questions down below. And make sure that you follow us on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram as well.